My apologies, the audio cut out there. Is there anything you want to tell the court concerning the bond in this scenario? I'm not. I don't really grasp that part, so no. All right. Basically, the tribunal must set a bail amount, sir, to guarantee your attendance. Okay. So the bench will set a bond, and you have the privilege to inform me, hey, I am not likely to flee. I am a flight risk, or something similar. Is there anything you would want to share with me regarding that topic? Sir, I just want to look after my girls. I am not a danger. I get it. All right. Yes, sir. Well, the court intends to mandate a $2 million blanket bond in this instance, encompassing every one of your charges. Should you manage to post bail, the judge orders that you be placed under pretrial supervision with electronic home monitoring. Furthermore, the court mandates that you shall have zero contact whatsoever, either directly or via a third party. You are forbidden from speaking to them in any manner or fashion. That prohibition extends to digital messaging as well. You are strictly forbidden from communicating through family members at all. Is that clear to you? Yes, sir. Okay, Crime Shadows continues examining the investigations that will leave you thinking twice. Make sure to smash that subscribe button on Crime Shadows so you catch fresh investigations way before the mainstream media even gets a whiff of them. Our uploads go live exactly when the action breaks, covering the incidents in real time because you deserve the unfiltered facts. That is exactly the mission we execute here at Crime Shadows. If anyone drives me to be a better man, I guess it would be the Lord, since I work as a music minister. By Monday, this guy from Tip City was explaining a total nightmare scenario. Right at the start, Caleb tells dispatch that an intruder smashed in and gunned down his wife. They ask if the suspect is still inside, but he claims he has no idea while describing the scene at 2:30 in the morning. A guy dials 911 screaming his head off about a break-in and saying his wife took a bullet. He describes a total bloodbath, but he is faking it because everything he tells the cops is a complete fabrication. Nobody realizes it yet since the tragedy involving the 37-year-old is so fresh. She was a volleyball coach for Tip City schools and a mom who absolutely adored her two little girls. Police say that on February 16th, 2026, at 2:31 in the morning, someone shot her while she slept in her own bed. Authorities allege the shooter was actually her husband, Caleb Flynn. Imagine your own bedroom is not safe enough to protect you. Investigators say 39-year-old Caleb used a 9mm on Ashley. After the murder, he did something truly twisted and sick. He tried to frame a stranger for the killing by staging the scene, but detectives saw right through his lies. Within 82 hours, he was in cuffs with bond set at $2 million after pleading not guilty. This is the Ashley Flynn saga where everything fell apart. Make sure you subscribe to Crime Shadows. It was late at night in their two-story house while their elementary-aged daughters slept upstairs. Ashley was asleep next to her husband, totally unaware of what was coming. Police claim Caleb got out of bed, grabbed his gun, came back, and pulled the trigger at 2:31 in the morning. The bullet killed Ashley instantly, and seconds later, Caleb called 911. Listen to the recording of his call with the Miami County dispatcher. Oh my God, someone just broke into my house and shot my wife. Are they still inside? I honestly do not know. Just please get someone here to this address immediately. Please hurry up. Tell me what you are seeing right now. My wife took 2 shots to the head and there is blood everywhere. Oh God, please help. Sir, please try to take a breath for me. Do you see anyone else in the house? No, the garage door was wide open. Just please hurry. Oh my God! My daughters are in the house. Where is she right now? She is lying in the bed. Are you in the room with her? Yeah, I am right here looking at her. Did you guys lock the doors? We locked the garage, but the house door was open. Please wake up. Where is the bedroom located? My partner is sending units now. I need you to answer me so I can get you help fast. Okay, what was that? Where are you in the house? I am in the bedroom and my girls are in their rooms. So you are not with the kids right now. I was just with them. What happened? Okay, but you are not with them now. No, they are asleep in their room. Oh God, please help, sir. Officers are heading your way right now. Take a deep breath for me. Do you hear anything at all? I rubbed her leg and called her name, but she is not answering. Your daughter is not answering? No, I am sorry. What did you ask? Is your daughter not responding to you? No, the girls are across the hall in their own room. Okay, do you hear any noise in the house? No, but her face is so pale. Her face is white. Go ahead and explain it to me. He claimed they entered through a door, shot his wife, and took off. He faked his fear well enough to fool the dispatcher, but responders found Ashley dead in bed. Those two little girls slept through the whole thing upstairs and never woke up. Neighbors didn't hear the gunshot or witness the chaos unfold. Caleb just stood there, playing the part of the devastated spouse, pretending he was the one suffering a loss. Officers on the scene spotted red flags almost immediately, though. His narrative about the break-in clashed hard with the physical reality they were looking at. Not a single door or window displayed any hint of being pried open. No locks were busted. Everything looked completely untouched. That tale about a home invader just didn't hold water. It was the first loose thread. It was the initial fabrication that would eventually unravel his entire existence. Ashley Flynn wasn't merely a statistic in a file. She was a vibrant soul whose presence truly meant something to the world. She coached volleyball over at Tip City schools and had a background teaching elementary students prior to that. Her whole career centered on guiding children to learn and evolve. Two young daughters relied on her as their mom. She was the type of person who always made her family her top priority no matter what. Her relatives made it clear she was cherished beyond measure. They stayed in constant contact with her. Every conversation wrapped up with an affectionate declaration of love. She followed a steady rhythm. She lived a full life. She had plans for the road ahead. Then everything screeched to a halt in a split second. Her husband was Caleb Flynn. He actually had a stint on American Idol during season 12 back in 2013. He served as a worship pastor for various congregations. He had spent years dedicated to ministry roles. Lately, though, he had pivoted to being a sales vice president for a commercial interiors firm. He was climbing the corporate ladder. To the outside observer, he was living the American dream. Detectives, however, sensed something was deeply off. There was a darkness fracturing his character from the inside out. Later on, his lawyer claimed law enforcement jumped the gun. The defense argued the investigation moved way too fast. Counsel stated that Caleb rejected every accusation, yet the physical proof authorities gathered at the home narrated a totally contradictory tale. Once investigators pulled up to the residence, they started scrutinizing every inch. They examined the location. They took pictures of everything. The team gathered clues. They spotted casings from a 9mm pistol lying on the carpet. They identified biological traces. The firearm was discovered close by. They logged every specific nuance. They interviewed people in the area. Both young girls were home, but they had been sleeping through it all. Nobody else was present. That left Caleb as the sole grown-up who could account for the events. Authorities replayed his 911 recording repeatedly. The vibe was wrong. His narrative was riddled with holes. He claimed a burglar broke in, yet the entry points were pristine. He stated an assailant fired at his spouse and fled, but the pistol remained inside the dwelling. He mentioned being terrified, yet his behavior and words didn't align with a guy who just survived a violent raid. Furthermore, once they cracked Caleb's mobile, officers found a chilling text sent to a strange number that simply read, "It is done." That screams of planning ahead, and it suggests he wasn't operating this wicked plot solo. Records also showed money moving to an isolated fund outside the household finances. What does that imply? Was there a side piece or secret lover involved? I knew her extremely well, and honestly, she deserved that respect. My sister is absolutely heartbroken, because Ashley and her kids were always so kind to her. Ashley was genuinely a sweet spirit. She used to stroll through our block daily, either walking the pup or just getting some steps in alone. She was an instructor for LifeWise, that Christian group in our school system, and the children go there, both of them attend. Right now, we are struggling to process everything happening right here in our community and coping with the loss of such a lovely individual who was taken way too soon.
Ever since we relocated to Tip City, my girl has played soccer with her daughters, and the whole crew plays in this cul-de-sac since the bike trail is adjacent, and they
pedal their bicycles and skate and use scooters while the group hangs around the property. And honestly, I have no idea if they plan to relocate. However, it is going to be incredibly tough not spotting them on a daily basis. She was a true cornerstone of this town, And, excuse me, she greeted us when we arrived, being one of the very first folks to say hello. I didn't catch a wink of sleep last night. Law enforcement carried out a search order. Officers combed the residence for clues. They secured Caleb's mobile device. They obtained a judge's approval to access it. Filings and official reports indicate they were hunting for anything revealing his mental state or his hidden plans. Investigators uncovered his chat history. They traced his electronic trail. The data retrieved from those texts and logs helped construct the prosecution's argument. They understood Caleb better. They saw the reality of his existence. Detectives saw the stress weighing him down. They located the 9mm pistol registered in his name. Experts identified traces of powder residue. The scientific proof started illustrating a clear scenario. It was a scenario implying Caleb Flynn murdered his spouse and attempted a cover-up. When authorities presented the proof to him, his fabrication started to crumble. The forensic proof collected was absolutely undeniable. No signs of a break-in, the firearm, the spent cartridges, the body's orientation, and the glaring inconsistencies in his alibi. Officers pressed him, displaying exactly what they uncovered. Detectives laid out precisely what those clues demonstrated. Investigators claim that under that intense scrutiny and the burden of proof, Caleb's account started to crumble. Authorities booked him for homicide, 2 counts of felonious assault involving a lethal weapon, plus 2 charges of evidence tampering. The judge set his bail at $2 million. He couldn't raise the funds and remained behind bars. Caleb entered a plea of not guilty. His legal proceedings are currently in the initial phases. The court docketed a preliminary hearing for February 26th at 1 in the afternoon. During that session, a magistrate would determine if sufficient grounds existed to proceed to trial. If the judge found probable cause, the matter would move to a jury for a final verdict. If the jury finds him culpable beyond a reasonable doubt, if Caleb gets convicted of the killing, he faces an extremely lengthy stretch in the penitentiary. He could possibly spend the remainder of his days locked up. His relatives issued a public comment affirming their faith in the legal system. His own kin must be grappling with these events. His 2 little girls have lost their mom. They effectively lost their dad to the penal system as well. Nothing can restore Ashley to life. No court ruling will return her to her children. This tragedy exposed a grim reality about how swiftly a life can be snatched away. Ashley Flynn tucked herself in for what seemed like an ordinary evening. She had no idea she would never open her eyes again. She didn't suspect the man lying beside her would cause her harm. She slumbered peacefully. Then her existence was snuffed out. The Tip City community was stunned. They realized that brutality isn't always perpetrated by unknown assailants. Occasionally, it originates from the individual right next to you. Sometimes the threat is the very person who vowed eternal devotion. The legal battle is still developing. That initial hearing ought to shed more light on the proofs, yet for now, one query persists. How did a union devolve into a homicide? And what drove a person to select brutality rather than just walking away? What actions might have averted Ashley's demise? Could a separation have spared her? Did anyone notice the red flags beforehand? No one possesses those answers right now. The only certainty is that Ashley Flynn has passed on, leaving her 2 daughters motherless. The tribunal is currently in session. The Honorable Judge Daniel presiding. Please take your seats. Very well. Calling case number 26, CRA 285, Caleb C. Flynn. Mr. Flynn, you are facing multiple counts here. Count 1 represents a murder accusation, which is a felony of the 1st degree. Count 2 is, 2 and 3 are both felonious assault allegations, 2nd degree felonies. Count 4 involves evidence tampering, a 3rd degree felony, and that covers the 4th count. Count 5 is also tampering with evidence, a 3rd degree felony. Mr. Falker, Your Honor, appearing for Mr. Flynn. Flynn pleads not guilty and requests this matter be scheduled for a preliminary hearing. Mr. Flynn resides in Tip City. He does not possess a commercial flooring business. He is not under community supervision. There are no pending charges against him. He lacks any criminal history that would establish grounds for flight risk. Mr. Flynn, we intend to set your case for a preliminary hearing next week on February 26th at 1 in the afternoon. You possess the right to retain legal counsel to represent your interests. If you lack the funds for one, you may submit an application to the public defender's office and they will decide if you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. Do you comprehend all of that? Yes, sir. Do you have anything you wish to share with the court regarding the bail in this matter? At 2:31 inches the morning, Caleb called 911, screaming that an intruder had shot his wife. He performed panic. He performed grief. None of it was real. First responders arrived and read the scene immediately. No doors forced, no windows broken, not a single sign that anyone had broken in. The gun used was registered in his name. It was found inside the house, not taken by any intruder. His story had no entry point because it was never true. On his phone, investigators found a text sent to an unknown number just after the shooting. It is done. There were also records of money being moved to a hidden account outside the household. This was not a crime of impulse. This was planned. Within 82 hours, Caleb Flynn was in handcuffs. Bond set at $2 million, charged with murder. He pleaded not guilty. The case is still in court. Ashley didn't know the threat was right beside her. She trusted the person she had built a life with. That trust is not a flaw. It is what love required. But Ashley's story forces a painful question. Were there signs that danger was building? And did anyone around her have the words to name it? Asterisk, asterisk. The most dangerous place for a woman is often not a dark street or a stranger's car. It is the home she shares with someone she loves. Asterisks, asterisks. Domestic violence rarely announces itself loudly. It builds quietly, in isolation, in financial control, and a partner who plans while performing devotion. If someone you know seems suddenly withdrawn, financially controlled, or afraid of their partner, say something. Ask directly. Stay present. If you are in a relationship where you feel unsafe, trust that feeling. Tell someone you trust. You do not have to wait until something happens to ask for help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day. 1-800-799-7233. One call can be the first step towards safety. Ashley's community in Tip City mourned deeply. Neighbors spoke of her daily walks, her warmth, the way she was the first to welcome someone new to the block. Her daughters have lost the one person who was supposed to protect them above all others. No verdict will give them their mother back. But the way we talk about cases like Ashley's determines whether the next woman gets help in time or whether her family spends years looking for answers. Ashley Flynn was not a cautionary tale. She was a whole person, a coach, a daughter, a mom who deserved to wake up the next morning, remember her name. And if you see something close to home that doesn't feel right, say something before it becomes a story like this one. Ashley Flynn was 37 years old, a volleyball coach, a mother of two. She was asleep in her own bed when she was killed. The man who pulled the trigger was the person lying right next to her, her husband, Caleb. Their daughters were sleeping down the hall. To the outside world, Caleb Flynn looked like a success story. Former American Idol contestant, worship pastor, corporate VP. No one saw what was fracturing beneath the surface. Ashley followed a steady rhythm every day. She coached, she taught, she loved her girls fiercely. Every phone call with family ended with, "I love you."